The topic I chose for my long oral presentation is about superconductivity. Is superconductivity in real life conditions possible? To try to answer this question, I found and I chose an article published on March the 8th by a team of researchers of the University of Rochester in Nature Journal. It is called Evidence of Near-Ambient Superconductivity in an N-doped lutetium hydride, which is of course the name of this material. So I chose this topic and this article because superconductivity is maybe one of the things that would surely change our world in some way, in some important way. Because when the superconductive state is reached in a material, it usually requires very low temperatures and very high pressure. There are two main things that are then enabled in this material. First one is that its electric resistance drops to zero, which means then that an electric circuit made in this kind of material would then be able to never overheat. It of course would be a change for the way we build computers and for in a huge amount of things in the electronics. There is also the Meissner effect, which is the ability to repel any magnetic field this material encounter. And it is important for this article because one of the ways they had to prove and to check that this new compound is superconductive at said amount of temperature and pressure is especially magnetic susceptibility. And among the many tests they made for their article, which are in fact very well provided in data and very well made, it recalls to us an article that some member of the same team made in 2020, which was about the same topic. It was called room temperature superconductivity in a carbonaceous sulfur hydride, which is of course another material, but it was retracted because they were accused by some scientists, and it seems with some proofs because it was retracted, to have at least poorly done some tests, including the magnetic susceptibilities test, or even to have manipulated the data. So the wrong was already done because the article had made the big headlines, and it was for a time considered as one of the biggest findings of 2020, but it was redacted nonetheless. But some researchers like Rangapedias or Ashkan Salamat never deny their results and keep on pursuing in their research. But there is another problem in this time the 2023 article. It is the atomistic positions of hydrogen nitrogen. They have not been able to determine it, but it is important because they've also said that hydrogen is one of the key components in this material to make it superconductive. And if they're not able to show to the whole world how they made their compound, well, no one will be able to replicate their results, and there will be no one to tell if they're right or wrong, because they do not want to share samples, because they made a startup very recently with the idea to exploit and use their research, and of course this new magical compound. But at the same time, a team of researchers, which has nothing to do with Rochester University, tried to replicate their findings, the lutetium hydride, and they think they've made a thing pretty similar, but they found out that at the same pressure, the superconductivity was reached at a very, very lower temperature, which would then maybe invalidate the findings of Rungadias and his team. But it is still too early to say. So now I think it's time to conclude. It is well possible that superconductivity has been reached, but it might as well not be the case. For now. We can be optimistic because there's a lot of people working in this field, but at the same time, because there is a lot of people working in this field, there will be a lot of disappointment and maybe a lot of people will make you believe that they found the rare component, the magical thing, while it's not the case and they've just lied to you, or at least not being very cautious in order to attract all the glory and the fame. That will be all. Thank you for your attention.